Hello everyone, my name is Blix. This is Talos Principle All Sigils. Time starts now. So, this is my submission video for the All Sigils category of Talos Principle. Already here in the beginning, I'm going to be doing a fairly tricky parkour section, which is not really marathon safe, so if I screw it up, I'm going to do a slower backup. Looks like we're fine though. Yep, completed it. That's nice. That tends to go wrong a lot. If I fail that, I have a backup that loses about 30 seconds that I'll do. So, All Sigils. What is All Sigils? Talos Principle, this is a puzzle game. I'm going to be collecting all of these Tetris pieces right here. Collecting all of them in the entire game. And then beating the game by getting the true ending known as the messenger ending. I'm gonna say right away that a lot of the tricks that I'm doing right now are very frame dependent, like FPS dependent. So I might have to do some alternate strats on another computer. So like if I use another computer at the marathon, which I'm assuming I won't be using my own computer. That is fine. I used to play this game. I ran this category for a long time for a couple months on a 6-year-old pretty crappy computer with a laptop class graphics card. So it's doable, definitely doable, doing the backup strats. Anyway, so just pointing that out, some of these strats might not be easy to do for me. Like that jump right there, it's FPS dependent. So, this is Talos Principle. You've already seen me complete a bunch of puzzles without actually doing any puzzles. Most of what I do when playing this game is using the hitbox and what I like to call push box of these objects to get myself out of bounds. Like right here. I'm not supposed to be able to do this, but I am, so I do. How that works is basically I'm allowed in this game to place an object exactly where I am standing, so where the hitbox of my player character is. What that means is that it's going to try to push me back. And when it pushes me back, if I jump at the same time, I gain a little bit of extra height. This is a little bit tricky. You're not supposed to be able to do that. The mine is supposed to blow you up when you do that. Anyway, so like right here. I jump and place the thing and it just pushes me up high enough that I can get on top of this wall and skip the entire puzzle instead of solving anything. So it's going to be a whole lot of that. A whole lot of weird boosts from these objects and items I have at my disposal. And there's going to be a few other glitches and tricks as well. So, this category, All Sigils, ETA is about an hour. That's how long I can expect it to take. My PB is currently 49:27, which isn't... it's not bad, like by any stretch of the imagination. Oh my god, that is such a weird jump. Anyway, completed second level already. I'm collecting puzzle pieces. I use the puzzle pieces to unlock things like this. That unlocks the connector. We'll get to see that in a moment. I'm doing this wrong. Anyway, so there's a huge amount of weird tricks in this game. The advantage of running All Sigils is that I get to explain a lot of them. Like what I just did there was one of those boosts that I was talking about. I've also submitted an any % messenger run, which is my favorite category of the game, mind you, but it is a very fast run and I don't really have time to explain what's going on. This run has no cutscenes really, there are no breaks, it is pure 100% intensity all the time, from beginning to end. For the entire run, I'll be constantly very, very focused on the game and very precise and fast movement. So I am really hoping to have somebody else from the Talos community with me doing commentary if this run gets chosen to be run. Oh my god, I was not expecting to get that. That was a bump jump. Bump jumps are pretty tricky to explain, but just take my word for it that they are pretty difficult. And if I can get somebody on the couch to explain that, that would be sick, because explaining bump jumps while running is not a great way to pass the time. So these are connectors. They connect lasers. You're supposed to connect the right color of the laser to the right receptor, but by freaking out the game by running through the lasers, I can, you know, trick the game. So there the streams were crossed, right? Like this, and you're not supposed to be able to connect lasers through each other. But by running through the laser, the game kind of freaks out. You're supposed to be allowed to run through the laser real quick without breaking the contact it has, like the two contact points, like breaking the connection. But the game deals with it in a weird way. So by running through it back and forth like that, it allows me to keep them both connected at the same time, even though the streams are clearly crossing. Man, all this movement is... I wish I could explain more of what I'm doing, but it's moving... The game is moving faster than my mouth is capable of moving. Anyway, so we're already almost through a third of the game. That's not true. I just lied. We're almost through A6, and I thought we only had A7 left, but of course we do have A5 as well. In World A, there are 7 subworlds and the star world, so I guess 8 worlds. Each with a bunch of levels in them and sigils that you have to pick up. Oh. And there are 3 main worlds, A, B, and C. Once I'm done with those, I just have to get to the ending. I'm going to be going for the quote-unquote true ending of the game, so messenger ending. Man, this parkour is pretty difficult to do while also giving commentary. I'm actually doing pretty good on time. Happy with myself. Again, ETA for this game is about an hour. World record is about 41 minutes. My personal best is like 49 something. Which is decent. Like, it's not terrible. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. And yeah. I actually managed to sort of run out of things to talk about. This jump is pretty weird. You're not supposed to be able to break out of bounds here, obviously. But the community finds a way. So somebody found out if you jump at this rock at a very particular angle, sometimes you can actually get on top of it. Only sometimes, though. There we go. Coming up in just a little moment is one of the weirder tricks of the run. It's called a cube jump, which sounds innocuous and simple. But as you'll see, it's going to be pretty weird. So right before I do it, you're going to see me change... Like, my player speed now is on fast, of course, because I'm playing a speedrun. But you're going to see me change my player speed to slow, and you're going to see me change my max FPS setting to 30 FPS right now. Player speed, slow, FPS 30. And then I'm going to try to pick up this cube and jump on top of it at the same time. And it's just going to send me launching. I could explain the physics of how that works, but I'm going to elect not to. Hopefully, if I have somebody on the couch that is very comfortable with how this game works, they could explain that. But it's just weird. Just take my word for it. One thing about the cube jumps, though, that is worth pointing out. I did set the player speed to slow, and I set the FPS to 30. Limiting the FPS controls the height of the jump. Why that is, I have no good way of explaining. I think I understand why that is, but I'm not going to try to explain it. Anyways, FPS cap limits the height of the jump. Player speed sort of controls the distance of the jump, sort of. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but those are like the basic ideas of how the cube jump works. So I'll be doing more of them later on in the run. They're pretty spectacular, so I do like them. They look cool. So a little bit about like the history of this game and marathons. This category has been run by Azure a couple times at GDQs. There are a lot of other really cool categories of speedruns in this game. And I've got to say, like, as a pretty fresh member in the community, pretty new member in the community for Talos Principle speedruns is absolutely great. So, like, if you're looking for a high-paced action, fast-moving, no cutscenes type of speedrun to run, I really do recommend this game. I did a mistake. I gotta do that again. I forgot a star. I personally have been attempting to learn and to run a number of games to varying degrees of success for a while, for like my adult life. But oh wow, we're done with A7. I didn't even notice. Anyways, moving on. But like this game is the only game that's been able to keep my attention because there's no downtime. I'm always doing something. In any other game, there's this downtime and there's this slowness to it that bothers me. Here, if I screw up, I reset the level and I'm back in it in like a second. I don't have to wait. Comparatively, other games that I've run, let's say Dishonored, which is a great game. It's a super cool speedrun as well. But it does have a lot of downtime. This game feels very similar to Dishonored in how it feels to play it. Like it's cool parkour, fun movement, and it's fast, and you know, it's the same type of energy as playing Dishonored. But Dishonored has so much downtime that I can't do more than like 2 runs and then I'm sick of it and I need to take a long break. This game though, I can keep playing a lot because it's so fun. Anyways, finished World A, moving into World B, which means that we're pretty much like not really a third of the game through time-wise, but content-wise, I suppose. Here, this is actually an intended solution. Hooray! One of the 2 or 3 intended solutions in the entire game that I'm gonna do. The rest I'm just gonna break out of bounds and do weird shit. Ooh, like walking on walls that you're not supposed to be on. Notice that whenever I pick up a sigil, I instantly go into my menu. I press escape to go into my menu, and I reset. That saves... Like, the whole point of that is just to get back to the start of the puzzle so that I can exit it fast. Anytime you walk through one of these purple barriers, that saves my spawn location. So if I joink, now my spawn location is at the start of that puzzle, right? So once I grab this, I reset, and I'm back at the start of the puzzle. That goes for the hub world as well. Like when I leave this puzzle right now, I reset again, and I'm back at the start of B1, and I can move on. So basically, every time I complete something, I reset to save that walking time. I should have probably explained that a little bit earlier, since I've been doing that so much. Anyway, I'm running the wrong way. Ooh. So, we potentially have another cube jump coming up in a moment. Depending on if I can get one of the hardest tricks, in my opinion, in the game. I'm probably going to say one of the hardest tricks in the game a lot of times, so take that with a pinch of salt, or a grain of salt. Right here, I'm going to try to step on top of this and pick up the fan at the same time. I got it. That, for me, is very, very difficult and very inconsistent. I'm probably not going to get that in the marathon. And if I don't get it, then it's no big deal. I'm going to do a backup strat. Anyways, now that we're here, I'm going to set my player speed to slow and my FPS cap to 60 FPS, which means that I will get more height than I did with the 30 FPS thing. And I'm going to launch myself and hope that I land in the right location. I might have overextended my launch here. Then I'm going to put my settings back to normal. I did miss my launch. That is annoying. Okay, I have no good backup for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the puzzle in the normal way. So if I had done that right, I would have landed in the room with a sigil over there and picked up the sigil and just run out and gone my merry way. But because I screwed that up, I'm going to do another type of glitch here, which is called a jammer glitch. If I'm on the wrong side of this barrier and try to pick it up, it's just going to push me through the barrier like that. So what I want to do is I want to align myself pretty well with the center of the barrier, and it will allow me to pick it up and move to the other side of the barrier at the same time. Let me just focus here. I am particularly bad at jammer glitches, heads up, but I should be able to do this in a timely fashion anyway. There we go, got it. So I would have landed here if I had gotten the cube jump right. No. Alright, let's see here. There we go. I've got one more jammer glitch to do up here, and I should be fine for the rest of the run. I didn't get it. Dang it. So the more stressed I am, the more difficult they are. So I should just honestly calm down. And I put the jammer too far away. This is one of those things that can lose me a few seconds and make me a little bit nervous, but other than that, it's fine. One more sigil to go here, and then we can move on. Let's see. This is a little bit weird to do as well. There's some weird geometry going on. There we go. B2 is complete. We move on to B3. So, the world record in this category is 41:29, I wouldn't say. 41:20 something. By Kraft, who I'm really hoping is going to be there at ESA. It would be marvelous if he was. If he submits this category and wants to run it, I really do recommend selecting him, just because his execution is way superior to mine. I would love to do commentary for that on the couch, of course. So, if you're happy with my commentary, I'd love to still do that. Oh, this is a little bit of a difficult level. I'm going to concentrate for a little bit. For me, this level, or this world, like B3, is probably one of the hardest in the game because of this parkour coming up right here. I'm going to do it a little bit slower than usual to make sure that I don't screw it up. Got it. Okay, so that is one of those things that I think is really, really hard, but I also think it looks pretty cool when you get it. There we go. One more sigil to go, which is Sunshot. I'm actually following my splits pretty well. Even though I included my splits here, you can pay them no mind. In a lot of places, I'll probably... let's see if I can get this cube jump here. In a lot of places, the splits are going to be in the wrong order, depending on where things spawn, because I'll be doing marathon strats. I forgot to do my settings back. There we go. So if I do splits out of order, just ignore that. The reason why I have it here is so that you have a timer to see how long the run takes. Oh. So yeah, this level right here, B4, is one of those levels that can go a million different ways. Oh. depending on where this paint bucket spawns. You see, I need the paint bucket to do a glitch right here called paint jumping, named for obvious reasons, I guess. But at the same time, I can't really do the level reset thing because I need this to be connected to the statue over there to get a star later. The paint bucket can spawn in 4 different locations on this map, and if it spawns, there are two of the spawns are like reasonably good, and 2 of them are not great. If it spawns in a bad spot, the entire level changes, and I need to do everything in basically the opposite order, which can happen, and it's okay. It loses 10 seconds maybe. It didn't happen this time. I got the good spawn this time, but just like a heads up, it can happen, and it will make the level look different. And if that had happened now, my splits would be in the very wrong order, and it would look very weird. This particular paint jump that I'm trying to do right here off of this statue is very finicky and weird, and I might not... I'm gonna actually demonstrate here. I might not get it on another computer because it's so FPS dependent, so I might do this as a backup, which is fine. Do like that to grab the sigil. I just wanted to show that there are backups for these things. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but I used to... Oh, God. I'm screwing up. I need to pick this up. Hopefully I'll have somebody on the couch reminding me that. Anyway. I used to play this game on a 6-year-old computer with a laptop graphics card, which is pretty bad. So these FPS dependent tricks I couldn't really do. But I have backups for them. I have other ways of dealing with that. Just so you know, so it might make the run look slightly different in certain places. Some tricks will be changed out with different tricks, but for the most part it's okay. So B5, the start of B5 here is serious time for me. This kills a lot of my runs. I'm going to go for the risky strat. If it doesn't work out for a little bit, I'm going to revert to doing intended strats, the intended solution for this puzzle. Hopefully I won't need to, but that would lose me probably like 30 seconds, to be honest. But I got the speedrun strat first try, so it's okay. I'm gonna practice that. I'll hopefully be 100% consistent at that, but that is a very difficult trick. It's deceptively hard to get up on that wall. This cube jump coming up is pretty precise and weird. I use the ground to help me figure out where to stand. I have these marks on the ground that I use. This jump is pretty important to not screw up too bad. It looks like we're okay. If I overshoot it, that's fine, I can recover. But if I undershoot it, the run is dead, which is terrible. So I overshot it. I've screwed up my settings. There we go. So I overshot it, and the backup I have for that is to just do this, which is fine. But if I undershoot it and land inside this pit right here, the run is dead. So I really need to make sure I don't do that. I've done that before. I hope that doesn't happen. If that happens, I'll be super embarrassed. So I'm gonna work on making sure that doesn't happen. I'll probably also, like, if this run gets accepted, I'll probably also talk to the other community members and ask for, like, backup ideas for the risky things in this run. It'll be fine. Anyways, so the thing that I did back in the first puzzle where I got on top of the wall, you notice that I shot the blue beam like really far out of the puzzle area. The reason for that was that I needed the power of the blue beam to activate this little fan thing in the middle here, and I need this fan to shoot me up, because that's how you get this. So there you go. Alright, weird trick coming up. This is called a fan slide. I want to say. Let's see if I can get it. Not doing this right. There we go. Yeah, I just teleported across that level. I don't understand that trick, so I can't explain it. Sorry. It's really, really weird. So like, there are two ways of jumping in this game. One is to like just jump like I do on flat ground a lot, or like this. Another is when there are like these footsteps marking the ground. Oof. That is called a guided jump. Also, that was a very close call. I don't know if I should do that. The guided jump kind of... Ooh. It's like auto-aim for jumping, which is hard programmed into the game. It's pretty weird, and it behaves weird, and I basically exploit the guided jump next to that fan to teleport me across the level. I don't know why it works. I'm not going to question it. Maybe there will be somebody else at the marathon who can actually explain that, or maybe I can just find out before I show up and I can explain it. This game is very quirky. It has a lot of fun things in it. Okay, another pretty tricky world coming up here, B7. There's one trick here that kills me sometimes. There's a backup for that trick though. There we go. There's a backup for that trick, which I can do, but it is... I actually cannot do the backup consistently on this computer because I get too high FPS. Oops. Also, this cube jump is really weird. Sometimes it doesn't let me jump if I try to cut the corner too short. Let's do like that. There we go. I'm trying to clip the wall there because it makes me fly further. And all that is to get this star. Oh, there we go. Now I'm going to break this out of the puzzle by doing this weird boost. There we go. And here comes the hardest part of B7, the thing that screws me up a lot. So I'm going to see if I can get this fast. I'm going to practice the backup for this. So hopefully it's not going to kill too much time. Absolute worst case scenario, I can just actually skip this sigil because I don't need it. There we go. Got it. I don't technically need it, but it means that I won't be getting all sigils I would be missing one sigil at the end of the game. But that's like the absolute worst case scenario if I just can't get it for whatever reason. That should not be a problem though. So anyways, now I'm just bringing this jammer around, using it to solve all the other puzzles. Clearly not the way the game was intended to be played, but whatever works, right? And we're almost done with the normal part of World B, and we'll get to see one of the star worlds. So, we've been collecting a bunch of sigils. The sigils are used to open doors and to unlock items and stuff like that. And the stars are used to unlock the star worlds. So now that we're done with B7, we can go on to do B star. The reason why I haven't done A star yet is that at the end of World A, I didn't actually have enough stars to... Oh god, how do you do this? There you go. I didn't have enough stars to do it. To open the door. So I used the stars to open that door just now. So there we go. These silver metal colored sigils are what you need to get to the true ending, to get to the messenger ending at the end of the game. You open one door using all of these 9 sigils. Let's see here. No way. Okay, that's a problem. I've also recently learned that there is a faster strat for some of these things. This level, for example, has a faster strat, but I'm not confident with it, so I'm going to do the old strat. Alright, there we go. World B is done. And we move on to World C. As you can see, there is very, very little downtime in this game. It's basically full-on action all the time. Now I feel like I've explained most of the mechanics of the game, so now it actually calms down a little bit, and you know, now there's more like potential for actually getting some donations in and stuff like that. But I mean, maybe there is earlier in the run as well, and I'm just not aware of it. I'll be happy to take feedback on that, feedback on commentary, and on my ways of thinking about the game. There's a pretty cool trick here, though, that I would like to comment on, which is that this thing became an elevator that I use. Just jamming it into the tree, and it became an elevator. How swale is that? Okay, this cube jump is extremely precise and annoying, and I think I got the angle now, so I will go for it. Looking good. Applause is needed. Thank you. Very nice. So now, while my settings are still 60 FPS and slow, I'm gonna do another cube jump. This is also a pretty spooky moment in the game that can just lose a bunch of time. I want to land inside there optimally, but if I don't, it's not a huge tragedy. But I want to do an item boost like that, but pick up the cube, which is actually really precise and weird. And the thing is, if I can't do that, then I have to redo the cube jump that I did earlier to get there in the first place. So that's a little bit annoying. That loses some time. That happens quite often. It's a precise move. It's tricky to do. It's okay. I'll just do the cube jump again. Oop. Sometimes this game is a little bit finicky about the tricks, which is okay. I'll usually figure it out. There we go. So I'm going to break into this puzzle from the outside, like this. And just go straight to the sigil, skipping the entire puzzle. One more puzzle in C1. Also going to skip this entire puzzle by using this tree and this connector to launch me up into the air. Oh. There we go. Onwards to C3. So here in C there are a lot of pretty tricky things. Here comes another fan slide, if you remember from B5. There we go. Basically just teleporting. It is weird. I don't understand it. Can't explain it. Just know that I have to press spacebar a couple times and it happens. But it looks cool. I like it. Right here, geometry is very, very screwed up, and I might get launched and have to redo things just because high FPS and the walls of this game sometimes just sends me flying. If that happens, it would lose a few seconds, but it's okay. It's not a huge deal. There it almost happened. I almost got thrown into the pit over there. Weird collision detection causes me to get up on this wall. Oh god, I should have been more careful. These walls with the spikes on top are particularly slippery, so it's a little bit tricky to walk on, like that. So I might screw that up. So movement in this game is pretty hard. I do recommend trying it for anyone who hasn't played this game. It's really fun, but it's also deceptively hard, the movement. For speedrunning purposes, I mean. Casually, it's fun. This... Oh, skipping the puzzle by going out of bounds on the outside. I'm gonna see if I can... Oh, well, I died. Let's try that again. The community passionately calls this this puzzle solution Mountain Goat. There you see I got a weird geometry boost. So, Mountain Goat is particularly hard to do on high FPS. Me having a particularly high-end computer tends to screw this up for me. There we go, I got it. So this is one of those things, it was just way easier on my old shitty computer than it is for me now. Let's see. This trick right here is called, I don't know if this language is okay. If not, then I'll rename it. But am I allowed to say shit? I should be allowed to say shit, right? If not, just let me know and I'll not say shit. Anyways, this trick here is called shit tree. Geometry of trees is weird. They only bothered to model the bottom half of the tree because they never expect you to get high enough up to be able to interact with the top of the tree. So they didn't put any physical tree there, which is a little bit fun. There we go. This is also, I'm using a new mouse. I feel like I should inform you of that. First of all, I'm a little bit rusty at this game, but also I'm using a new mouse that I haven't really used before. So I'm still trying to get used to that. Here's one of those instances where I'm going to be using a weird FPS to get exactly the right height I need for this jump. Because right here, I need 25 FPS slow speed. And it's going to send me just high enough to land on this wall, which is absolutely perfect. I'm going to keep my movement at slow, but I'm setting my frame rate to 60 because I'll be needing slow 60 a little bit later. This unintended solution is just an oversight by the developer. Apparently I can get a guided jump on top of those cubes from this little indent thing in the wall here, or whatever I should call that. I don't know what to call that. So I can just basically skip a bunch of puzzles by doing that. So we've completed the puzzle, but there's still a star left here. So I'm gonna, let's see, use this jammer to open that door, bring a cube with me, get on top of this, go here, down here, there's a star, reset. Now I'm gonna do another bump jump, which I did in the beginning of the game, but I didn't talk too much about how it works. It's a little bit difficult to explain, but basically I jump a little bit before I hit the rock, and what it does is that my feet kind of like I stub my toe on the rock and it sends me flying, and I go higher than I normally could go. It's a finicky move, and as you saw there, I screwed it up twice, and that is perfectly normal. I'm gonna do another weird bump jump here where I launch off of this. And this is also pretty finicky, and this is one of the reasons why I need to have 60 FPS, because I can't do that uncapped. I will just hit my toes and get stuck. Anyway, gonna do things a little bit out of order now. Moving on to do the star world of World C, which is supposed to be like the end game, a little bit. There we go. This has my favorite cube jump in it. In just a little moment. So I'm gonna concentrate a little bit right here. Get this set up right. Damn, that was not supposed to happen. I wonder why that happened. I must have done a placement wrong. Anyways, this door is supposed to stay open. I'll look into why that happened. Let's see. That should be good. Perfect. That is a very, very precise and finicky jump. I think I have a fairly consistent setup for it, but I honestly don't know if for sure. So anyway, that worked out pretty good. Applause expected and stuff. Let's see here. You see me using items to boost myself on top of those blue barriers. That doesn't always work. It depends on the type of barrier. There are apparently 3 types of barriers in the game, and only one of them. If I understood correctly, I might be misremembering here, but as far as I remember, there are 3 different types of blue barriers, and only one of them you can launch yourself on top of like that. Oh, wrong way. This particular jump coming up right here is also pretty tricky. Might fail it a couple times. I need to bring this connector with me on top of this wall. I tend to overshoot it. It's pretty precise. Again, I don't really have control in the air after I've launched, so my launch needs to be on point. Connect that for a split second to start a fan. I didn't do that right. Yeah, I did that right. Never mind. I'm misremembering again. So we do this. Starting the fan up there was what shot the cube down. So now I have the access to this cube right here, which I'm going to put there. I'm going to do another one of those weird 25 FPS jumps. And the reason for that is that I need this cube, but I need it outside of the puzzles. So now we go back to uncapped FPS, like so. Get this sigil. So the different colors of the sigils, by the way, I might not have mentioned that, but green sigils are used to open doors, regular doors. There we go. Oof. A little bit slippery there. Green sigils are used to open regular doors. Yellow sigils are used to unlock items. So like when I unlocked the cube and the connector in the beginning of the game, I used yellow sigils for that. Red sigils are used for what is known as tower doors. You'll get to see a couple of those tower doors a little bit later. And silver sigils are used for the last tower door. So like to reach the true ending of the game, you need to have all 9 silver sigils. Of course, I'm going to be entirely skipping that, so you won't see any of that. Hopefully. If I screw up, I might actually do that, but hopefully you will not see that. And the stars, which are also a type of sigils, are used to access star worlds. Inside the star worlds is where you find the silver sigils, so that's how that works. So that was Messenger Garden. Nice little break from the hectic nature of the rest of this game. Alright. No, I screwed that up. That is actually terrible. I don't remember how to do the backup for this, actually. Is it something like this? There we go. Okay. It's been a while. It's not that easy to remember. Anyway, so even here where it looks like I'm doing connecting and stuff as you're supposed to do in the game, I did that only to grab this cube so that I could break the game and go the back entrance to get the sigil. Totally unintended strats. So let's see, another cube jump. This time I'm not going to set my player speed to slow. I'm going to leave it at fast. I think I want to aim there. So fast means that I won't go so fast forward, I'll just go more straight up, which is perfectly fine because I didn't need to go that far. Grab this star, grab this. Now I need to search for the paint. I've been talking so much that I've just not at all been paying attention to what kind of paint set I have, so that's not very smart. There we go. I don't know why I was trying to pick up the painting on there. There we go. One more weird paint jump here. And then we move on. There we go. Got it first try. That one's pretty tricky. Might take me a few tries. Let's see here. Hang on, I'll be right back. Sorry about that disruption. That should not happen during a marathon, obviously. Anyway, so if I have good paint here, I could just pick up the paint and then do this puzzle. But since I have bad paint, I can show you the console strat solution for this. Which is to set my FPS to 15 and do a weird bump jump. This is a strat I don't often do anymore. It's pretty fun to get to do this. This is pretty awkward and it hurts my eyes. It probably hurts your eyes as well. And it's a pretty finicky timing as well. There we go, got it. So turn the FPS back to max. So I mentioned that trees are only half physical. That's going to become a thing right now. I'm going to use this tree and jump off of it to get into this puzzle, to get a star. Let's see here. This jump is also pretty weird. Got it. So that's that. Let's see, now we gotta figure out what paint we have. It's this one. There we go, one more puzzle to do. This one is also kind of like inconsistent for me. I have a tendency of screwing up this puzzle. There's this one jump coming up. Let's see here. First I gotta... Oops. Gotta bring a cube with me. This tree is not cooperating with me today. There we go. Anyway, so... Whoops. Alright, so because the movement is finicky in this game, sometimes screw-ups happen. That wasn't the worst, it loses a few seconds. Let me just get back to where I was. There we go. Okay, so as I was trying to say, so up on this wall, if I can get up there, there we go. Right here, I want to place the cube. This jump will sometimes just not work for me because of imprecise inputs, I suppose. Like, it is a consistent jump, I'm just not super good at it, I guess. Anyway, that was the end of World C. Now we're gonna head into the tower, which is this big, looming, spooky building. Not gonna do too much here. Gonna open a few doors. The first tower door... first of all, to access the levels of the elevator, I need to use the terminal. These doors use the red sigils that we've been collecting. So yeah, I only have access to the first floor. I need to reach the terminal of the first floor to unlock floor 2 and 3. I won't be needing the rest of the floors because, well, you'll see. I just need to unlock floor 2 and 3. So, this is the reason why I run in Chinese, by the way. I don't need to be in Chinese for the marathon. It can be in English and you'll see more what I'm doing. Right now I'm just menuing and there we go. Now I've opened floor 3 and floor 2. Exiting the menu, and we'll go back here, and now I can access floor 2 and 3 here, as you can see. I should probably leave it in English for the marathon. Just so that you get a better feeling of what the heck I'm doing. Do I need... No, I need to go straight down now. It's been a while since I've done this. It feels good to play this category again. Even though I had to take a little break and everything in the middle, and my timer is all screwed up. There we go. So, there are 2 more stars that I need to get before I can access the Star World in A. Oh, I need to get this one too. I forget. My bad. And before I can access the Star World in World A. So I'm going to be getting those 2 last stars. Then we're going to do the Star World. And after that, the game is pretty much over. I just need to get to the ending. And of course, I'm going to be using glitches to get to the ending. Which is nice. That glitch is weird. You're not supposed to be able to carry anything through the purple barrier. I don't think I've ever explained that. I don't know if I do that anywhere else in the run. Do I do that anywhere else in the run? Anyway, it's a pretty neat glitch. Also, boxes and elevators don't work very well together. So, pick your favorite meme. The truth is out there. It's pretty cool. Let's go on. Right here, I'm going to do something that's also unintended. You're not supposed to be able to put down a box and immediately jump on top of it. Especially not if that box is on top of another box. But if I like kind of clip this box into this wall right here and align myself very precisely, I can do that anyway. That's one of those things, you're not really supposed to be able to do that, but with a little bit of research from the community, you know, they've figured out ways to do it. Again, I clipped an item through a purple barrier, which you're not supposed to be able to do. Oh, don't land wrong. Don't you dare. Okay, that's fine. That was a little bit hazardous. I could have done that jump in a little bit smarter way. So anyway, last star picking up right here. Pyonk. We now have all the stars. So now we're going to go back to World A, get the last 3 sigils there, and then we're going to finish the game. Looks like we're going to be at about 1 hour, including the little break I took. So ETA is going to be 1 hour. I've made plenty of mistakes this run so far. Probably going to make a couple more before it's over. What am I doing? I should memorize that puzzle. Or the puzzles, period. There's one more like reasonably difficult trick coming up here that I can screw up, which is a trick. It's a jump. There's one jump that I think is pretty hard. Let's see here. And then there's the ending itself is pretty tricky. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So anyways, while wrapping up this, I'll probably be wanting to give some thanks to community members that have helped me, you know, get good. I'm not the best at this game by any stretch of the imagination, but I've learned a huge amount, and it's all thanks to the Crit community. So I'll be wanting to talk a little bit about that, shoutouts and stuff. Would be nice to be allowed to do, and This is the tricky jump, by the way. When you're kind of out of bounds, I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes my screen will flash and it will be a little bit weird. It looks like it's glitchy and like that. Now I'm just making a fool out of myself. This is not that hard. Sad thing about this trick is that there is no real backup. I just have to do it well. So I blame myself being a little bit rusty for parts of this. But again, also worst case scenario, I don't actually need the sigil, so if I fuck up too much, I can just move on. This is embarrassing, but okay, here we go. Really though? So yeah, I'm totally gonna practice this. I'm sorry for wasting your time right now. Ooh, okay. That's better. I shouldn't screw that up. It's a difficult jump, but I have been consistent at it, so I guess I should just refresh and practice that a little bit, and it'll be fine. Now I'm just going to go out of bounds and move on to the last sigil of the game. Assuming I can actually do this. So, out of bounds, everything is really slippery and weird, and geometry is not what you expect. Which is why sometimes I screw up things that look very, very easy. And, well, that one in particular was also very, very easy. But, just saying, it's not exactly how it looks. So now it's just the ending left. So shoutouts to this and that person, and thanks for letting me play this video game, and all of the nice things that you'd have to say at the end of a run. Again, I would like to be very clear that if someone else submits this run, in particular, if somehow magically somebody convinces Craft to submit this run, I would like you to consider him over me because his gameplay is just better. But I would still like to be on the couch. Please don't fall outside. Okay. This jump is a little bit hazardous as well, so I'm not doing this in a great way. So anyways, I just clipped through the tower. We're gonna go to the true ending. Just like so. Time is coming up. And time. 59:04. With the amount of mistakes that I've done, means that 1 hour is a pretty decent estimate, I think. There's a very low chance of me going over 1 hour. There's a very low chance of me playing worse than I did now, considering how rusty I am. I've decided that I'm gonna just upload this to you as it is right now, and not try to improve or make it look better or improve my commentary or anything. This is just showing you this is who I am. This is how I play. I will play better than this, probably, because I won't be as rusty. Commentary-wise, I'm hoping to not be alone doing commentary. And even if I am, I'll probably be a little bit more prepared as well. Anyways, I hope you found this entertaining. For me, this is the most awesome speedrun in the world. I watched a lot of speedruns. I've tried to get into a lot of speedruns, but nothing beats the Talos principle. So yeah, that was my run of all sigils. Thanks for watching.